Ever thought about living in Mexico? Well, today you're in for a treat. I'm bringing you 6 women who moved to different cities in Mexico, and we're going to talk about their experience apartment hunting. We're doing this work so you can skip the hard steps and learn from their experiences. If this is your first time on my channel, I'm here every week talking to you about moving abroad, whether that's Mexico or anywhere else in the world that your heart desires. I talk about early retirement, and I just talk about living a good life. So if you have your eye on living the best life possible, subscribe and let's get to it.
Hi, my name is Kaylah. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm 35 years old. I live in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, right outside of Cancun. I chose Playa del Carmen because it is a beautifully soft landing for folks who are new to expat life. It's a beach town, it's a tourist town. And so while speaking Spanish is super helpful anywhere you are in Mexico, it's the kind of place where you can come kind of fresh and green to expat life and you'll be okay. So I found my apartment by looking super specifically for my neighborhood. My neighborhood is called Selva Nova. The locals here would say that it's on the other side of the highway. It's about 10 minutes driving from the ocean. And so I knew I wanted an apartment here specifically. I went onto Facebook, both in the marketplace and just general Facebook, and I searched Selva Nova. And I wrote down all the WhatsApp numbers and all the contact information for any real estate agent who had posted about a unit here, whether it was sold or not. I reached out to all those folks and I got lucky. I got a real estate agent who helped me find what is my place that I'm in now. I chose the Selva Nova neighborhood specifically because the area where I live, where I'm from, is kind of a suburban area. I love green space. I like being able to go on kind of quiet walks every day. And I have my dog here with me. So we go on walks together. And so I was just looking for something, again, a soft landing. And the Selva Nova neighborhood was outside of Central, outside of downtown. And it gave me that feel of a quiet suburb, or as quiet as you can get in Mexico. So the reason why I knew Selva Nova would be a quiet neighborhood and kind of a good vibe for what I'm used to is because I had done a ton of YouTube home tours of different neighborhoods in Playa del Carmen. And I made a short list of all the ones that fit the vibe of what I was looking for. Selva Nova was at the top. So I actually recently found a new church home here in Playa del Carmen, which is a feature about PDC that I really love. I also found that just through intentional searching on Facebook. So there's been so many things that I really wanted in my new home. I just put it in the search bar on Facebook and saw what I could find. I wrote everything down and I found a post from a church that had English services every week and I visited. That's how I found it. My apartment here is beautiful. I love it. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, which is probably a little too big for me and my dog, but this is the neighborhood I wanted to be in, and these are the units that they have. So I have plenty of space. I've got a nice balcony. My apartment complex, or my condo complex, has 24/7 security. We have 5 pools here. We have a gym. And we are walking distance from a little taco stand, a little fruits and vegetables stand, and the OXXO, which when you get here, you'll know is kind of like the local corner store that you go to for whatever you need. Probably about a 20-minute walk from the mall, which is Plaza Las Americas. It has a grocery store, a Sears, a food court, a movie theater, everything that you're probably used to in your hometown. The thing I like most about where I live is being able to have all the amenities that I just talked about at an amount that is super affordable. I don't have to work myself to the bone or work all the hours of my life in order to be able to afford some of the amenities that I have here. What do I like least about where I live? It's hard to say because Playa del Carmen really is paradise, but I would say Mexico's noise level, just in general, and I don't think this is specific to Playa del Carmen, is different from what you might be used to growing up in the States. You know, growing up in my neighborhood, there was a certain time where people just kind of were quiet, work was done, folks were getting in the bed, and it was just kind of a quiet evening time feel. Here in Mexico, definitely in Playa, it's loud all the time. So even in my quiet neighborhood, it's loud. If I had to pick something, that's what it would be. My rent here in my apartment is 18,000 pesos per month. And so currency rates change by the moment. Right now, today, that's $870 USD. That includes all of my internet, all of my electricity. It's a total electric apartment, and my water. So I have no utilities outside of that cost. So I put together my budget to figure out how much I save by living in Mexico compared to my expenses living in Atlanta. I save about $1,300 USD per month, and I have probably 5 times the amount of amenities than I had in Atlanta. My quality of life has improved in a lot of ways. One of the ways is, again, these amenities that I get to have. I'm able to send my laundry off. I'm able to have someone else to help me clean. I can take advantage of gyms and pools. And I can get to the beach in less than 15 minutes anytime I want to. So those things really help me to kind of de-stress and make the most of each day. I'll also say, being outside of the United States, I am experiencing for the first time the privilege of not being totally defined by my race as a Black woman, which is an experience that I have never felt until I got here. So if you're a Black woman and you are considering moving to Playa, do not hesitate. There is a thriving, beautiful community of Black expats, and specifically Black women expats here. We are all waiting with open arms to welcome you and to help you. Another thing that I want to say is, do not fall into the trap of believing that Mexico is some type of dark and dangerous, shadowy place. That is not true. Mexico is vast, it's gorgeous. There are 32 states here. You've got mountains in Mexico, beaches like in Playa in Mexico. You've got huge cities like in Mexico City. You've got everything you want. So if you're considering moving to Mexico, take the leap. If you're considering moving to Playa, look me up and I will welcome you when you get here.
My name is Audrey Long, and I came from Killeen, Texas, which I guess it's about an hour from Austin. I live in Merida, Mexico. I'm on a career break, and during my career break, I was trying to go around and see where I would like to eventually retire or move to, because my goal was to move out of the US. I went to Mexico City, which I loved. First time in Mexico was in Mexico City, and I was like, oh my God, this is my place. Then I was like, let me try Guadalajara. So I went there. I spent some time in Tlaquepaque, and I know I'm saying that wrong, but that's the only way I know to say it. And then I went to Portugal, because Lisbon is another place I would like. I really love Portugal a lot. And I went there, and then I came back, and I was actually going to check out Paris, because I would like to stay there for a while. I kind of have a love-hate with it, but I think if I could stay there a while, I'll love it, like, because I really like it. And then I ended up not going there because they were having some issues during the November, December time. And I came back to Mexico. So I said, well, since I'm coming back to Mexico, everyone's saying that Merida and Playa del Carmen is like the greatest places ever. So let me check that. So I did. I flew into Cancun. I took a bus to Playa. Playa was not my speed. It was more like Vegas to me, and I couldn't do it. It's a great city. I think it'd be wonderful to like vacation there, but I couldn't live there all the time. And then I came to Merida. The vibe is so calm and cool, and the people are so kind, and it just had a lot of things that I was used to. Playa didn't have taxis, and didn't had only taxis, excuse me. And Merida had Uber and Diddy, and I just really love the city. Then I stayed in an Airbnb that I really enjoyed. And then I left that Airbnb, came to another Airbnb. It was 24-hour security, someone always at the desk. It was like just wonderful. I really loved it. I really loved the layout of the apartments. And so I was like, yeah, I think I could live in Merida. We were in Merida, and I stayed in an apartment that was closer to Central, in a more local type area. And I'm saying that because now I'm in the north and it's like way further out. And I really liked it, but I liked the apartment, but the people were cool. The animals, it was like a whole bunch of chickens going on every night. And and the dogs were like going crazy. And it was like every night, and we only stayed there for 2 nights. So it was horrible. So I said, well, let me move. We're gonna move a little further in. I already had the Airbnb booked, and I got to my second apartment. It's in a high rise, and 24-hour security, and they needed your name to get in. They were like, it was like so wonderful. I was like, yes, it's secure. Someone, a solo traveler, can be here, because it initially was me and my daughter traveling, but I knew she would go off to school, so I would be by myself. And I would pool, uh, oh my God, everything. 2 malls, everything I needed. Can walk to restaurants, everything. So everything on my list of places that I needed to be, that I loved Mexico City for, I found in Merida. And so I said, well, you know what? I can try this. So then I moved out of that apartment during my process of signing my contract for, because I was like, oh, I love this apartment. I immediately I told my daughter, I said, well, okay, I like this apartment, but maybe I should look at other apartments. So let me go online, and I went to Inmuebles, I believe is how you pronounce it. You have to forgive my Spanish. I'm trying. I went there, and I signed up for their list of apartments, 1 to 2 bedrooms, however many bathrooms, whatever. And so they would send me, you know, every day, like, contacts. And then I also went to the Viva Nuncies. I don't know. So I went there. Please forgive me, anyone that is like, what is wrong with this lady? I just can't do it. So I also went there, and they were sending me hits. So about a week, I was just collecting apartments and contacting people on the bottom of the apartments. I've been looking at a lot of videos, and they were like, just go walk around, see the for rent sign, call them. I wasn't brave enough to do that, right? So I wanted to go through somewhere where I knew, like, okay, this person has this apartment, and I can go there with them and see it and ask questions. So I wasn't too particular about whether they spoke English or not, because my daughter spoke enough Spanish for both of us to be able to determine what was going on, and Google Translate. So I was okay with that. So anyway, I went to my third apartment, which was very close to this one. And I was like, well, and I hadn't actually put a deposit down on this apartment yet. And I was like, well, this is a nice neighborhood, but nothing I was in. And it was a very nice apartment. All the apartments were very, very nice. And so, but nothing I was in like really, you know, wowed me like the apartment that I stayed in now. I went back, I contacted a real estate agent. It looked like the apartments were the same apartments we had stayed in the second building. So I told the real estate agent I wanted to look at apartments. She had like 8 in the building. And so she was like, so she was like, well, you know, you have your choice, whatever floor you want, whatever. And so I started the rental process for this apartment that I'm in now. I'm in a 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath. And so, and of course I have, you know, the living room, the little dining area, and my kitchen. My apartment came fully furnished, not initially. Initially, they were unfurnished, but I, for some reason, didn't understand that when I read the ad for the apartment. They talked to the owner and he was willing to furnish it for me. So that's what he did. Of course, he increased the rent a bit, right? But it wasn't out of my budget. So I was fine with that. I try not to negotiate, although I hear that you're supposed to negotiate everything. I mean, because if I still can do it, it's no point in me negotiating. So I thought it was still a good price. And so I have all new furniture because it wasn't furnished. And it already came, all the apartments in the building came with the full-size refrigerator, full-sized stove with oven, microwave, and washer and dryer. They have a work center with Wi-Fi. They have a pool. There's a little playground for children. They also have a walking trail, and the walking trail has a guard at the back of it because it leads out to the mall that's behind the building. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it just for those things. I love it because of the security, and security is really, really tight. If you don't have your ID, I mean, I've had instances where I've had to go downstairs and get my delivery, my food delivery, because they forgot their ID and they will not let them in. I've had maintenance people that needed to come and fix something, but they hired them out. The owner hired them out and they got here after 5, so they couldn't go. You know, they can't come in. They are really strict with it. I really appreciate the security of it all. Also, I like the fact that I don't have to go somewhere to, it's not a gym, but I prefer walking as exercise to going to a gym. So I really love the fact that they have that walking trail, and that you can just walk to the mall, and the mall has everything.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
it's so far out, right? So I knew not to go too far out, right? So Temazon Norte is a little further out than I am. I guess Las Americas is a little farther out than I am. And I knew not to go too far out because you have problems with getting Ubers and things at certain times of the day, right? But I am kind of far out. So driving, it takes 20 minutes to get to Central. It started out at 12,500 pesos, 12,500 pesos. And then once it was furnished, it's 14,000 pesos, which, you know, fluctuates a little bit. So anywhere from 680 to 690, something like that. I saved a whole lot. My expenses in Texas were about 2,500 to 3,000 a month, just depending. And last month was the month that I really paid attention to what I was doing, and I spent 1,100 all in. That's my Uber rides, that's my Uber deliveries, that's my rent. I pay utilities, so I pay water, electric, and gas. It cost me 26 USD last month. And yeah, I can't beat it. I can't beat it, especially for where I'm staying. Because, in the US, if I was like full security and all the amenities that I have and surrounded by as many things as I'm surrounded by, I'd pay way more than what I'm paying. So I just feel better every day. So I suffer from sciatica really bad. And my last full year working in the States, I developed diverticulitis from stress, right? And so I've been here, and I've only been here a couple of months, but even if I count my traveling, right? And then just being here, it's way, way less stressful for me. I haven't had any attacks so far, and I just feel better. Like I'm so at ease every day. And I don't speak Spanish well, so I have a lot of people that tell me, oh my goodness, I couldn't do it because I don't speak any foreign language. Well, I speak a little French, I understand a little Portuguese, and a little bit of Spanish. I am just like, no habla español, lo siento. And they are like, okay. And we just get through it, and it's so peaceful to have people that they're not judging you. They're really kind. They're just like, okay, we can try together and get it done. It's way better for me here. My quality of life has greatly improved. I would say to anyone considering moving to Mexico, especially Black women, to do it. I know that we get a little nervous, and sometimes we talk to our friends and our family, and they're like, oh my God, Mexico, no, first of all. And then second of all, how are you going to go somewhere where you don't speak the language? You don't know if they're taking advantage of you. You don't know what to do. And I just want to say, things work different in every country that you go to. And so try it. Just try it. So I always look at it like this. I'll go and try it. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to the US. You can always go back. So I would definitely just take the leap and try it and be able to say, hey, even if I didn't make it, I tried. I tried to do it and celebrate that. So I tell my friends all the time, hey, you need to go ahead and make your exit. You need to make sure that you are prepared to do what you need to do. If it is you need a job, start working on it. If you can just get your savings together and be able to do it, start working on it, and do it. Try it.
I'm Charlene Anne Marie Archer, known as Anne Marie, and Ball Girl Will Travel. I'm 53 years old. I moved to Mexico from Washington, D.C. in the United States. I live in San Miguel de Allende in the great state of Guanajuato. That is the hardest question because it's always hard for me to describe why. It was a feeling. You get somewhere and you feel at home in that place, and that was what it was. I felt it was only the second place I went to where I felt I could live here, not as a visitor, but as a place that I could actually live. I found my home on a fluke through Facebook Marketplace. So the way I found my place is probably not the way most people find it. I was just looking at places to get a sense. So I just went to Facebook Marketplace, not expecting to find my home, was just thinking I would go look at a place. And as soon as, again, I walked in the place and I just knew that that was where I wanted to live. I live in a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in San Miguel in Centro. So it's a short walk to the center of the city. It has a beautiful rooftop. It has a full kitchen, a beautiful dining room, fireplaces. It's a lovely house. I love the house. I mean, I love being in this house. It feels like home to me. I don't expect to live here forever. And whenever I do move, I will definitely miss living in this house. I love the rooftop and being able to sit outside. And I have a veranda right near my bedroom. And if I would ever get a nice chair, I would probably use it. But it has beautiful terraces and a courtyard. It's very relaxing. I feel at home here. The thing that I hate most about here is certain aspects of my neighborhood. I moved here from a major city, so it's probably not been as big an adjustment, but as many as you have shared with people, Mexico is loud. And so if you live in the city as I do, there's a lot of noise. There are firecrackers, bomb-like firecrackers that go off at different times because San Miguel is a major festival city. And so that has probably been the biggest adjustment for me, is dealing with those kinds of noises, not people, selling water or the dogs barking, but just the random firecrackers at 6 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning. Those are the things that have probably been the biggest that I'm still adjusting to. So I would say that's the thing that I don't like. I pay $1,100 a month. And my house, by the way, comes with a housekeeper and a gardener. I forgot to mention that. Oh my God, I'm probably spending now not even half what I was paying because I had a home before. Maybe a third of what I was spending in the US for my rent and living expenses. It's not even half. It's even less than that. In the US, I was probably spending just between my mortgage and utilities, probably close to $5,000 a month. And now I'm probably spending closer to 2,000 or less. It's actually under 2,000. Oh my God, my quality of life is better exponentially living in Mexico. I mean, I just am more calm. I sleep better. I'm happier. I mean, it's way better in every aspect. I have even lost a couple pounds without even really trying because I have to walk all the time. So it's just better. I would tell Black women considering Mexico to absolutely consider it. I wouldn't advise anyone move to any country sight unseen. So I would still say do your homework, but I still think Mexico is a really great option for Black women, especially Black women, because they treat us well here. So I think it would be definitely a place, if you as a Black woman are thinking about moving abroad, you should definitely have Mexico on your list. I mean, it's right next door.
My name is Ardrina Beatrice Hoxie. I came from Oakland, California, and I am 39 years young. Currently, I live in Guadalajara. What pinpointed Guadalajara was Hilton. So I'm a Diamond member with Hilton, and I already wanted to come to Mexico. And so staying in an Airbnb, I have never done it. I'm just not there yet. And so the price of the Hilton tier, and also how close it is to get back and forth to California. My parents are on hospice, and so I needed something to where I can get there the same day or at least the next day, and it don't break my pocket. So flights are economy as low as like 115, first class as low as $300. So that's why I chose Guadalajara. Oh, and then the weather as well. I heard about Merida, and they talked about it really being humid-like, and I could not, when I was in the military, I couldn't stand Kuwait, Dubai. It wasn't tolerable for me. I went to Austin for a little while, and that humid, it wasn't tolerable for me. So that's also why I chose Guadalajara. I wasn't looking. I'm gonna say that when I came to Mexico, I did not have a plan. I knew what cities that I wanted to go to, but I did not have a plan as far as where I would end up and if I would end up in Mexico. And so, like I said, I was staying in the Hiltons. I met people as I was in the city, Black people, a lot of Black women mainly. I added myself to Facebook groups. And so one of the Facebook groups is ran by a brother. He's UK, Jamaican, out of Colombia, I think. And so he has a Facebook group for short term and long term rentals. And yeah, he posted my place one day. It was on a Thursday. I remember he posted it. I saw it on Thursday. I hit him up, had an appointment on Friday, viewed it that Friday, and I already loved it when I saw it. But when I got there, it was just like, yes. And then the building manager, she was just so accommodating. Like before I even really got to the apartment, she was introducing me to people as I was coming in, like, oh, she's looking at, this apartment and all this stuff like that. And so, yeah, Trey met me there, and that's pretty much how it all unfolded. And so he put me in contact with the owners, and from there we communicated on WhatsApp. And yeah, and so I signed my lease on Saturday and I moved in on Sunday. I'm actually in the condo building, so my home is considered a condo, though I would say it's more like a studio. My building is 24/7 secured with security. And so they accept packages on our behalf as well as food. So no delivery person enters into our complex. On the rooftop, on a ninth floor, it's where we have a pool as well as an open deck area. It's not a kitchen, but if you have some pre-cooked food and things like that as a sink, it's a serving area, so you could have a barbecue up there. And then we have a room or space in case it's raining or something like that, or you want to have a private event. You can sit here and check out that space. And we also have Wi-Fi on the rooftop. What I like most about my area, or I would say just about Guadalajara, is my neighborhood, Colonia Americana. It's very quaint, chill, though I'm like in the center of Guadalajara. So I'm about an hour walking distance from central Guadalajara. There's another part, I think is the Wapapan, which is another district part of Guadalajara. I'm in walking distance to that. I'm at WeWork right now. If I wanted to, I could walk there as well. And I have a mall near me as well as the Apple store, plenty of cafes. And I just have grown to love cafes. I was really worried about my diet. So I've been really moving away from the American standard diet, looking more into the Mediterranean diet, but I've also been trying, different cultures and ethnicities and things like that. And so I was worried because, they love their flour, their tortillas, they love their cheese, and meat and all those things. But the cafes, they do not fail you at all. And it's like, you don't have to look for vegan or this or that. I feel that if you walk into anywhere, you're going to find something that everyone in your party can eat. So it's, you don't have that issue of, oh, well, let's do this. I mean, unless you're doing like Italian pizza, hamburger joints, things like that. But it's the cafes, it's the quaint. I feel very safe in my neighborhood, to where if I want to run to OXO, it's like a 7-Eleven, and there's 7-Elevens near me. But if I want to run to OXO, it's like there, I think it's like 3 within a block distance from me. But I could just walk to anyone and feel safe in the neighborhood. So I think that's what I like about my neighborhood or being in Guadalajara. You know, someone just recently asked me this, and I could not find anything. It's like things that I would think would kind of bother me, like for example, um, insulation. Insulation is different, pretty much, I believe, in many places that I've gone outside of America. It's you really have a lot of privacy and quiet in America when it comes to our insulation, but outside you don't. And so I hear upstairs the dog, you know, running across the floor. There's a neighbor behind me. I believe her bedroom is connected to my bedroom. So in the morning she sings, and I literally will like turn down what I'm doing just to like let her have that moment. The trash collectors, you hear the cowbell first thing in the morning, you know, stuff like that, the sweeping of the brooms of things. You hear a lot, but it's a comforting sound versus where I'm coming from. Fireworks, gunshots, a lot of cars, people doing donuts, arguments, you know. And so I have yet to find something that I least like about Guadalajara. But you know, I'm only 2 months in too. I mean, it randomly rained last night, but even that, I was fine with it. So yeah, I don't think I'm there yet. In 19,500 Mexican pesos, which is just up under $1,000. I haven't saved much as I've been getting myself established, but I looked at my budget. I will be saving over 1,500, and that's going to be including a cleaner, laundry service for certain items like my tennis shoes, things like that, a membership to Pilates, a membership to boxing, spa services, nails, toes, my haircut, as well as massages through the month, and eating out here and there. Well, at least one cafe trip a day, because that's what I said I was gonna do as I'm retired. Go sit in a cafe like retired folks. My quality of life changed exponentially, I guess you would say. So I sleep all the way through the night. I've always drank my warm water before going to bed, and I just thought that that was just something that came with drinking, you know, liquids right before you go to bed. You wake up about 1 a.m., 2 a.m. to go sleep, depending on what time you fall asleep. I can drink right before I go to sleep, and I still sleep the whole night through. So that's a plus. In Oakland, when I would, you know, move about outside or just whatever, you know, on the train, things like that, I always had on my AirPods, and my music was always, you know, up to where I couldn't hear cars honking, I couldn't hear men propositioning me. I couldn't hear nothing. And I noticed about a week being in my new neighborhood, so about a week after I moved in, I started turning down the music on my AirPods. And I noticed this when I was having a conversation with someone, and I was just like, wait, why do I hear music? And I was just like, oh, my music is still playing. And I didn't realize that I had my music down that low. Or the other day, I left my AirPods behind. I had my case, but I left my AirPods behind. If I was back in the States, and I mean, this is including when I went to Austin, I would be late wherever I'm going because I needed to go back and get my AirPods. I just couldn't see my day being a successful day without being able to block out the world around me. Here, I don't need to do that. And so I can actually feel my body decompressing, just, not day by day, but I will notice some things just like I noticed the AirPods. I noticed, oh my gosh, it's been a whole week and I have not woke up once out of my sleep to use the restroom, and I'm still drinking water. I haven't changed that habit at all. And so things like that are, if you hear maybe a loud noise or unexpected thing, I'm not like on alert. I mean, of course you're gonna jump if you hear a loud noise, but it's not taking my body forever to calm down. I'm a veteran with PTS, and so I can be triggered, especially by loud noises. And it feels amazing not to hear any gunshots. I mean, I've heard fireworks after a few. Guadalajara played. I don't know who they played in football, and so it was fireworks after that, and then I believe they did some for the Super Bowl because I heard some for the Super Bowl. But then also it's Guadalajara's birthday. Well, it was on the 14th, so they could have been celebrating that as well. But yeah, it's definitely bringing me more peace than I ever thought possible, just living in today's society.
My name is Sondra Jones Thigpen. I am 57 years old, and I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I was actually living in Chicago right before I came to Playa del Carmen. I sold a house, and on the 7th of November, I was in Playa del Carmen. I, by chance, came across Exodus Summit and Stephanie, Gary, Rashida Dow, yes, and Adelia, the whole crew. And I had already lived overseas, but I didn't have a community, and that was important. It was part of the reason I came back. So once I was able to connect with a community of women, we had a split off group, which was the Playa del Carmen Accountability Group. Wasn't my intention to even come to Playa del Carmen. I was supposed to go to Mazatlan, but they didn't have a Mazatlan group. So I joined the Playa group, and here I am. Best decision ever. Best decision ever. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I never heard of Playa del Carmen. Honestly, never heard of it. Actually, I used a realtor, really friends, word of mouth, got a realtor to me. As serendipitous as it is, I had already made contact with this guy. He'd already sent me over 2 places in this building. I totally ignored it. It wasn't until a friend told me about this guy again. His name is Francisco. We reconnected, and I picked the very first place he showed me. I could have saved myself months of time. I love it. I love everything about it. It is a 2-bed, 2-bath in a condominium building, 5 flights. There aren't really high rises here in Playa. I'm on the 5th floor, and it is open and airy and light. And there's a balcony. There are 2 pools, a beautiful rooftop deck. It is gorgeous. The thing that sold me on this place were the views. It's totally unobstructed. On the rooftop, I have a 360-degree view of all of Playa. You can see the water, the green. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place. I am about a 15-minute walk from the beach. So I am smack dab in the middle of everything. I'm 10 minutes from a grocery store, Walmart, Home Depot, the mall, the movie, and the furthest. If I walk slow, it takes me about 20 minutes to get to the beach. So I can go to the beach every day. It has to be the Mexican people. They make this place what it is. It's warm, friendly, inviting. They're helpful. I haven't felt unsafe here. That was an issue for me. I'm from Chicago. So safety was a real issue and a concern for me. I don't have those bodily safety kinds of issues here in Playa del Carmen. So I love the fact that it feels like home. It's safe. It's warm, the people are warm. The food is great. I mean, if you like tacos, it's a great place to be. And then having access to the beach. All of those things were important to me. Feeling safe, feeling welcome as a Black solo traveler, feeling welcome in a place was paramount. It was monumental for me. And then having access to the beach. Those things were important. And that's what I love. I have all of it. It's incredible. I have it all. I hate to say it, but it's the sidewalks. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can I get a continuous sidewalk? Just one. Just one. Can I walk one place with a continuous sidewalk where I don't have to worry about twisting my ankle? It's a small thing. It's a small thing. To live in paradise is a small trade-off. Yes. But, oh man, do not walk in Playa del Carmen and talk on your phone. I wouldn't advise it. It's that little thing. I promise you, I have nothing else. My rent is $1,200 a month, 1,200 USD. This is, I was telling someone this, just my rent and car note alone topped over $2,200. Just my mortgage payment and my car note. I hadn't eaten, I hadn't paid a bill, hadn't bought groceries, none of that. So I can operate on almost half of what my working budget was. It's unbelievable because now I don't have a car note. I don't have to worry about car insurance and all those things that came along with that. All of my living expenses are rolled up into my rent. So the only thing I pay is electricity. I don't have to worry about water and any other gas or whatever I'm using. It is incredible. The amount of money, just how inexpensive food is. My food budget is incredibly lower because I shop, at local markets where I can really get great fruits and vegetables for a fraction of the cost. So it has impacted almost every area of my budget, my housing budget, transportation, food, entertainment even. Well, I don't know, entertainment might be a little more. I eat out a lot, I drink a lot. we cocktail a lot, so, but still not enough to offset what I'm saving. It's incredible. The amount of savings has really been incredible for me. Chicago's not cheap, so this was a great choice in terms of stretching my living dollars. There's no comparison. I don't know if I told you this, and I'm not proud of it, but it is my truth. I was really concerned about safety in Chicago. I lived in a middle-class neighborhood, but things still happen. I used to sleep literally with a loaded 9mm. That's no way to live. I slept like that daily. That is the day you wake up and you say, okay, wait a minute, this is no way to live. This is not living. This is not living. I am waiting and anticipating something to happen because nobody sleeps like this. To not have to worry about those. Well, now I have an armed security guard 24/7. He's standing down there with his big machine gun. So I don't have to worry about nobody's getting in here. You're not coming in. So not that, I don't even know why. It made me question, like, who are my neighbors? Because why would you need a machine gun? But it's safe. I don't worry about my own personal safety. I don't worry about, somebody breaking into my house or those things that you worry about when you live in an urban area as big as Chicago. So just being able to sleep with the windows open. I know it sounds like something so trivial, but being able to sleep with your windows open, being able to walk after dark, being able to walk everywhere and not be worried, that's like a weight off of my chest, honestly. It has been so, I just have had a chance to breathe, really, really had a chance to breathe and be. Just look at these beautiful trees and be. I'll get misty, yep. That has probably been the best thing about it. The savings are great, and meeting other women, you can't trade those experiences. But the truth is just being able to feel safe and rested and appreciated and valued, priceless. I would have paid double for it, priceless. If it is your calling, you will know. You'll know. If something about Mexico speaks to you, listen, tap in, tune in. Find a community of women who are already doing what you want to do. Some things you don't have to reinvent. There's a safety net for you here. Pick a city, I promise you. Connect with Exodus Summit, best decision I ever made. And then go from there, research, prep. You can't just want it. If you want it, that's a great start, but you must do the work. You must research, you must save. I wouldn't advise anybody do this if you aren't financially sound. That's a whole nother stress that you can alleviate by just being prepared, and connect with like-minded women and go. Nix the naysayers, because they will come. People will tell you you're crazy, you can't do it, why would you want to? They'll say all kinds of crazy. Silence those voices right away. Save yourself. I wish I had known that. Silence those voices, put them away, and go. Follow your gut, follow your bliss. You won't regret it. I have not regretted one day of the decision, not one.
My name is Sonya. I came from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm 67. I live in Chapala in Jalisco State. Well, I came here over the summer for an artist residency. I stayed for 2 months, and I actually just fell in love. That's just, as crazy as that sounds, I just knew that I just had to be here and I wanted to make it happen. So I just sort of, I made a goal to be here by the end of the year, because I was here from June to August. And I made it a goal to be here by December, and I wanted to make sure I could celebrate my birthday here. And I just started getting busy. I'm in the middle of an artist community, and I actually was having breakfast one day with a woman whose books I have on my shelves without realizing it. We had just a great conversation. I'm a textile artist, and so is she. And just in terms of just talking, we just sort of hit it off right away. And we had breakfast one day, we had breakfast another day, and she said, I own this. I have some friends who own this building, and they're really wanting to create sort of an intentional artist community. And I think you'd be a great fit. So I had a couple of Zoom meetings with the building owners. The woman I was talking to, shortly after that became an owner of the building. It's a refurbished boutique hotel, really lovely. It's just beautiful. And there are 4 artists here. We each have our own boutique suite, and then we have some areas that we share together. But because I'm from the United States, Shelley is from the United States, one of the artists is from Argentina, and one is from Australia. So there are times when we are totally alone in the building because everybody is coming and going, and it's really nice. A lot of people are asking me, well, what should I do and what should it look like, and tell me this and tell me that. But I really believe you have to have your feet on the ground. You have to have your feet on the ground. And once you're here, then things open up for you. You can find people, someone who knows somebody who knows somebody. Once I got here, and I was here for a couple of weeks. Now I did make it a point to see as much as I could, because I knew I was only going to be here for a couple of months. But I found, several community meeting places, and there was a lot of information. People who knew people who had an apartment, or, there are a number of Black women here already. And I went with a couple of them to look with realtors to look at houses. I found another guy at the American Legion who kind of knows everything, and I know this place, or I know that. So I saw a lot of options that are not publicized. And I think because I'm among a community of artists, there's just that camaraderie and that sharing, which is really, really important for me. And I find people who are just really open and willing to share if you're just open. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's a refurbished boutique hotel. There are 4 boutique suites here where we have a bedroom, a really large bathroom, and a living area, each of our suites. We also have 3 kitchens in the building that we have access to. There is a living area, which we can use to network or to meet or to read. I'm actually right now in the larger dining area where we have, commercial grade everything that if we want to have something. There's also rooms. There's also space here to meet or to do work. I've been afforded some studio space in the building, so I'll be working to, over the next year to get my studio set up. I also have a studio in Charlotte that I've had to downsize to get here. And we have an amazing mirador with a rooftop view of all of Chapala, and we have a great view of the lake and the mountains. It's just beautiful. I have always wanted to live where I had access to a lake and mountains. I'm a lakes, rivers, streams, creeks kind of person. I love the ocean, but give me a good lake or a good river and I'm happy. So I'm really on a most beautiful lake, and it's surrounded by the Sierra Madre Mountains. So I have the best. It's just what I've always wanted. I like being in this community. It's a smaller community. It's more Mexican. There are a number of expats here, but I really want to be around more Mexican people, if that makes sense. What I wish were different is I wish there were more young people. There are a lot of retired people here. And there are young people. I see them pretty much on the weekends, and I think they hang out at night. But most people go to the next community over Ajijic for a lot more social events, which is not far. But the other thing I like is walking down the street. Things change from day to day. There's a new store that popped up, or there's a new eating place, or there's just a surprise every day. The other thing I like is there is a lot of live music here, in nooks and crannies and alleys and public spaces. There's a lot of live music, which I really, really like. I also like the fact that there are people ride horses here. I love that. And there is more traffic here than I think has been in the years past, because there are so many people moving in this area. But it's just a beautiful place. And I think that's the main thing. It's very healing to my eyes and to my spirit to be amongst us. And when I want to go to a big city, I can just travel to a big city. I'm about 45 minutes from Guadalajara, and I'm about, I think, 7 hours from Mexico City. The fact that I would like to see more young people. There's a lot of families that come here from Guadalajara on the weekends. This is a big tourist place for people from Guadalajara. So the Malecon and the lake are pretty crowded on the weekends, but it's families and people that have already established their groups. But I would like to see more young people who live here. And there may be, I just haven't seen them yet.
Okay, perfect.
My rent is $535, and that includes my utilities and my internet. And it also includes gardener and housekeeping services,
That's perfect.
which I really love. And we're thinking about here in the house hiring a chef from time to time, which that's fine with me too. I love that. I think the other thing I really like is people, delivery services are very personable here. You can have anything delivered. I'm a textile artist, and when I first came over this summer, I went to a fabric store, bought my fabric, and they said, "Oh, well, where do you live? We'll just deliver it." So they delivered all my fabric and my notions. I mean, how awesome was that? Well, initially I took a financial hit by coming here, but it's been worth it for me. I lost some income coming here because I did a lot of work in Charlotte, and my art practice was based in Charlotte. So I'm really going to have to build it up. But I already know that I'm saving. I'm already saving money. I went back to Charlotte a month ago, and in 4 days, I spent what I would spend here in a month on groceries. In 4 days in Charlotte, I spent what I would spend here in a month on groceries. So I'm expecting to save as time goes on. Oh gosh, it's just, I really needed to make this move because I'm able now to slow down and breathe and really appreciate my surroundings. I feel like when I was at home in Charlotte, I'm always on the hard grind all the time. Grind, and still couldn't keep up because the cost of housing has gone up so much, to live where I am living now. In Charlotte, I know I would be paying probably $2,000 a month in rent. So that's a savings right there. But just to be able to see the mountains every day and to see the beautiful lush greenery and the flowers and hear the birds, it's just soothing for my soul. I also am able to get to the spa whenever I want to, and and to get a massage. I mean, it's affordable for me here now. And having had a career as a therapist and a social justice advocate, being able now to really focus more on my self-care is just crucial to me at this time of my life. I would say definitely consider it and find the time to get here. Just find the time to get here. Come for a week or two, and that will, if people can just get here, that would answer a lot of their questions. We can intellectualize all day. We can talk about the cartels, but we're not talking about the mafia. So, I'm like, come on now, really, just get here, and then it'll be much easier to make some decisions once you get your feet on the ground. It's beautiful. The people are so friendly and open and welcoming. There's no perfect place on earth anywhere, but the people here are very friendly and they're open. They are willing to help. You're going to find people who live in poverty in any situation, desperate, and probably prone to crime because they're desperate. But that's anywhere. But I find that this has been a very safe community for me. It's been an open and loving community for me. And I love the cities I've gone to. I've absolutely loved them. I love the energy of Mexico City. I love that. I love being in Guadalajara. I mean, these are big metropolitan international cities. And I think if we don't avail ourselves of them, we're really missing out.
Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot from the woman today. And I hope that if Mexico's been on your mind, you now know how to find the apartment of your dreams. I'll see you next time. Bye.